Hey guys, welcome to day 11, and I am very excited about this day because remember in the beginning on the first day I talked about the disaster plan and how you don't, under my system, the 5-pocket method, you don't have to write anything down? Well, I really mean it. You don't have to write anything down. You can simply rely on that backpack in a disaster response. And today we're going to talk about a lot of those things because one of the things that people ask me all the time is, well, how do I be able to know where I'm evacuating to if I haven't written it down? Well, that's one of the things we're going to discuss today. These objects, the ones we're going to talk about, are the ones that will answer these questions. So we've talked about the immediate stuff that you will need personally. Now we're going to talk about the near-term stuff. When you ESIPL, if you have to evacuate, shelter in place and lockdown, you have to go somewhere, particularly if you're evacuating. What do you need to have? One of the things that I've done with many of my clients was I said, if you don't want to write down where you're evacuating to, fine. Don't worry about it. Here's what I want you to do instead. I want you to get a key made of where you want to go. So if you say I'm going to John and Jane or my aunt and uncle and that they've agreed to let me stay at their house, terrific. Get a key from them, make a copy of it, and put it in the disaster backpack. There is a place in most backpacks where you can actually, there's a place where it hangs and you can actually clip the keys in there. Or you can get a keychain and then clip it. There's usually a clip and you can actually clip it in there. And so what I want you to do is every place you say you're going to evacuate to, I want you to put a key in there. But you may say, well, wait a minute. I don't plan to evacuate to someone's house every time. I might decide to go to a hotel. If you decide to go to a hotel, that's perfectly fine. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to those hotels. Go to the hotels and I want you to get a business card. A business card from that hotel and stick it in that pocket. That's what I want you to do. Do I want you to attach it to the key ring? Yeah. Do I want you to actually laminate it if possible? Yeah. Because you need to be able to know exactly where you're going. If you've gone to the hotel and you've grabbed the business card, you know where it is, so you know where you're going, and you're familiar and you feel like that will be a comfortable place for you to go. You see how that's so much easier than having to write it down, which, let's get real, you were never going to do that anyway. If you just visit the place and you grab a card, it's an easy way to handle it. If you're going to your uncle's houses or your parents' houses or your grandparents' houses, then do you need to get a key from their house? Yeah, do it. And talk to them. You're not going to steal their key, obviously. So ask them for the key and then put it in the key ring. Because once you've done that, wow, you've now organized where you're going to go in an evacuation. And look, you didn't have to write anything down. Easy. The next thing I want you to do is once you've gathered those keys or business cards, if you're going to a hotel, whatever, what I want you to do is I want you to get a map. And I want you to get a map of that specific location of how to get there. Do I want it to be a paper map? Yes, I do. Not a digital map, because we all know you can just put it on your phone and Google it. That's easy. But what if cell phones aren't available? In the California wildfires in 2020, people literally didn't have access to their cell phones because the towers were all out. So no one was able to access the internet. As I say, get this stuff in advance, get a map, and put it in the disaster backpack. Should you have that physical map? Yeah, it doesn't have to be the most updated map either. Most areas are basically the same year in and year out. I would probably replace them every 10 years because it may be that your county has changed significantly enough. But if you have a good written map in there, you're going to be fine. This is what I would say to do though. In every place you plan to evacuate, pull out the map and circle all the locations where you'd like to evacuate to. If you're going to go to a hotel, circle it. Parents' house, circle it. If that's another map, get another map of where they live. My parents live a long way from where I live, so I do have a map, a road map of where they are, so I know how to get around their county because I'm not as familiar with their county as mine. Every single place, and just circle it. Those are easy ways of doing that. Now you have a complete evacuation plan. You know where you're going. Simple enough. And I'll talk about how to communicate that to family members in a future video. Not now. Right now, what I want to make sure you've done is evacuating yourself. You know where you're going to go. Again, we'll talk about people you're taking care of and your pets later because that's going to be a consideration. But for right now, I want you to focus on making sure that you have the maps. Also, if there are security codes, I know people who have a security company that, there's like a code to get into their house. Do you need to have the combo? Yes, no big deal, right? But at least it gives you a place where you can go. Some people say, well, can I just put it in my cell phone? And I say no, because what happens if your cell phone gets damaged? This does happen. I know in floodwaters, people who have dropped their phones and then boom, all's lost. Now there's no way, they're completely lost. There's no backups. Remember, your backpack is your backup. It ensures it is always there no matter what is going on. So make sure that you have those items in there so you know where you're going. So keys, combos, maps. So important in the near term if you're going to evacuate, shelter in place, and lockdown, whether you're in your county, your state, or you are somewhere else that you've never been before. This is Disaster Patrick, and remember, prepare for a disaster and you'll never experience one.